I've always wanted to get myself a lightsaber that is inspired by a movie character. When you look online at the prices of those, they're crazy. And I am the frugal Jedi. I don't want to spend a lot of money, but at the same time, I want to get one of those replica lightsabers. So I did find one, and the price was actually really good. And let me tell you, this thing is gorgeous. You are going to absolutely love it. And I am so excited to show you. So I don't want to waste any more time. Let's just head right to the table and begin.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos fresh. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Hello to everyone watching, all the Jedi, Sith, Mandalorians. I'm your host, the Frugal Jedi. Thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time watching, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you can stay up to date whenever I release a new video. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at a Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi lightsaber. It's made by DamienSaber, and you can get it in 4 different configurations. You can get it with 4 sound fonts, and the price for that is $129 US. Shipping is by DHL, and the shipping isn't bad. To ship to Canada, it's $13.68 US. Of course, it's going to vary depending on where you are. You can also get it with the 12 sound font RGB soundboard. That's a great soundboard. It has motion control for turning on and off. And I've reviewed that soundboard. I've actually installed it in a Saber. And it's a great choice if you don't want to go to the XenoPixel. And of course, the XenoPixel option is $189 US. And lastly, you can also choose Profi. Profi is really expensive. It jumps up from $189 US to $319 US. Myself, I just can't justify buying this lightsaber with Profi or any lightsaber with Profi until the price comes down. So the one that I ordered is the XenoPixel because I do love the XenoPixel blade. It looks super cool. And because I'm buying this replica hilt, I figure, you know what? I might as well go for XenoPixel because this lightsaber is not going to go anywhere. This is going to be my centerpiece of my showcase. If you're interested in buying one of these sabers, I'll put a link in the description below that'll take you right to the product page. I'm also going to put a link to DamienSaber's official store, and you can browse what they have, and there are tons and tons of things that you could buy. Yeah, like it can get scary how much you could spend so quickly there. I'm also going to put a coupon code in the description, and that coupon code will give you $3 off a purchase of $99 US or more. $3 is not a lot, but you know, it's because these companies, these are the manufacturers, right? So you're not paying the middleman. This will also let them keep track of how many people are buying the lightsaber based on my review. So it also helps me out. I'm not getting paid by DamienSaber. I bought this lightsaber with my own money. I'm not going to make commission or anything, so it's going to be a completely honest review. Without further ado, let's point the camera down at the table and unbox this thing. So it came with a lot of extra stuff. Don't ask me how they managed to fit it all in here. I'm not even sure. When I ordered it and I received it, of course, I always check to make sure everything is working before I do my videos. So I couldn't really get it back in the box the way they had it. It came with this really cool looking Allen key. You have your short stubby end, and then you have a long end and a little case to hold it. Whatever, put that like that. This was a nice addition too. came with a blade plug. So if you don't want to have the blade attached, you put this in instead, and it just makes it look really cool when you have it on display, or if you're cosplaying and you want it hooked onto your belt. It came with the MicroSD adapter. This is for the XenoPixel. So the XenoPixel has the MicroSD card inside. This will allow me to take it out, put it into the computer to add more sound fonts, music, things like that. It came with an acrylic display stand, and it still has all the protective plastic on there, which I haven't removed yet. And of course, we'll assemble that. It came with a USB-C charging cable, and as I say in every video, make sure that you use a 5-volt, 1-amp wall charger. If you use anything more powerful, you could risk damaging the soundboard. Any USB-C cable will work. You don't have to use the one that it comes with. It's up to you. All right, let's keep going. So it came with a 36-inch pixel blade, and that pixel blade has a cover on the bottom. And if I hold that up, you'll see that there is a set of rings which control the LEDs that are built into the blade. It also came with a standard Allen key, extra retention screws, and a different cover plate for the power switch. And I'll show you what this is for in a second. The product manual, which is quite large, double-sided, and that's just going to give you the overview on how to use the button to perform all the different functions. And the hilt itself. I should also mention that the blade did come wrapped in a clear plastic for protection. I just took it off already. Same goes with the hilt. The hilt came in a cellophane wrap to prevent it from getting scratched. I just put it back into a bubble wrap bag. But it was shipped very well. Really happy. Nothing was rattling around. And let me just get this out of here and show you. There it is. It is a work of art. This thing is absolutely amazing. I love everything about it. Like, it has that beautiful emitter shape, and it has that gold neck, the silver bands, that cover plate with those horizontal bar lines, and you could switch that cover plate with the other one if you want the other design. It has this lever, and that lever is really cosmetic. It doesn't do anything. It really doesn't. It's just there because it's to give it that look. It has that really nice big pommel on the end, and it has that ring so you can hook this onto your belt. This is just so pretty to look at. Yeah, like amazing. You don't want to duel with this blade. Or I should say, you don't want to duel with this saber. They don't recommend dueling just because of the narrow neck parts. If you accidentally whack it and maybe you hit here, you could accidentally crack it or break the metal. Also with XenoPixel, you shouldn't duel with the blades because they're not really meant for dueling. They're meant for cosplay and for just kind of doing demonstrations and cool tricks, things like that. If you get the RGB version, of course, inside, it's going to have the lights, not the pins. And even with the RGB version, again, you shouldn't really duel with it. This is more for display and just to turn on and swing it around yourself. Don't hit it against anything. So first of all, let me show you how what the blade plug does. It is a little tight, but it just pops into there. There are 4 retention screws around the emitter that you can tighten up. I'm not going to really tighten them because I'm going to take this out right away. I'm going to start by assembling this display stand. Easy enough. And then that hilt sits just like that. Yeah, you don't want it sitting like that. I want it to sit just like that. Yeah, that's going to look really nice when I display it. All right, I'm going to attach the blade to the hilt. And you don't want to crank it too hard on one of them. Just keep going around in circles here. There's 4 of them. Now the button is actually underneath this plate. And this plate is held in place by some tacky 3M tape. I'll slide it down. Oops. I'll slide it down to show you the button there. There it is. To get to the microSD card, you have to take off this section here by loosening that retention screw. You flip this over, and this piece is a, there we go, is a button extension. So the button's actually inside. This is just extending it. And yeah, let me show you the other design if you want to use the other one. So there's that design there. It's whatever you like, really. I'm just going to keep it with the original, like that. Now with a replica hilt, you can't see a light on the button, so you have to do all the timings in your head. And just like the other lightsabers, 1 second clicks will adjust the volume.
Volume low. Mute. Volume high.
And you have mute, volume low, volume high. Holding it down for 2 seconds. 1, 2.
Blaster blade. Steady.
This will adjust.
Volume low.
Oh, see, I didn't hold it long enough that time.
Mute. Volume high.
1, 2.
Pulse.
So this will go through all the different type of blade effects. Steady, pulse, unstable, rainbow blade, candy blade.
Rainbow blade.
And then holding it 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
Ghost blade.
There's ghost blade, blaster blade, and all the ignition types. There is a lot of different types on this lightsaber. I'm not going to go through them all just because there's too many and will take a while. If you do want to see all the different lighting effects that it can do, I did a full review on another Xenopixel lightsaber, and I'm going to put that link on screen so you can click it, and that'll take you to the other video, and you can really see the different lighting effects it can do. And just like the other Xenopixel, it has motion control. You can switch sound fonts.
The Learner, the Dark Lord Revisited.
And you can also choose music and turn the saber on and off. Yeah, it's a beautiful saber. To charge it, you unscrew the bottom, and your charging port is hidden inside. And again, that's USB-C. So you just plug in your cable and it'll say charging. And when it's done, it'll say ready or something to that effect. I'm going to show you how to remove the core so you can access the microSD card. First thing you want to do is unscrew the pommel. Next is remove that cover plate. Loosen this retention screw and flip it over, and that button extension is going to fall out, and you can slide off that section there. Now if you flip it, you're going to see a hidden screw, and you need to completely remove that screw. And then you can slide the core out, and you only need to slide it out a little bit. You don't have to take it completely out. And you can't really take it completely out because there's wiring that goes up through the neck attaching the emitter. There is a coupler built in here that if you really want to remove the entire core, you would unhook it, but we don't need to. You should remove the battery though, so you can pull it out far enough to get the battery out. So once you've updated your sound files and music, things like that, I'll show you just how to put it back together. I also apologize for all the background noise that you hear. Those loud mufflers. This town, it's a playground for people, and they feel that they need to get attention by having the loudest mufflers possible because they're overcompensating for something that they lack. And I'll let you figure out what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm just going to line up the hole right there with the button, flip it over, and we'll just tighten this one back. Okay, then we take this section here, slide it back on top, drop in your button extension till it falls in, and just hold it into position and tighten this retention screw. Put the cover plate back on, like so. And of course, screw the pommel back on. And when you click the power button, make sure you're clicking up here, not down here, because that's not going to do nothing. Usually I just use the motion controls
I am Sailor Moon!
to turn it on and off. That's about it. I'm not going to take apart this section here. It's just the wiring that's going through up to the emitter. You really don't need to see it unless you're going to be taking this apart, which you shouldn't take it apart unless you're just adding files to the microSD card. I am going to demonstrate it though. I do want to show you how it looks in the hands, and I want to get an idea of the weight of it and how easy is it to swing around. You're probably thinking this must be pretty heavy, and yeah, it is. There is some good weight to it. So I'm going to demonstrate it and give you my final thoughts at the end. It's really well balanced because of the extra weight on the hilt. And I'll show you where the balance point is. It's right around there. So even with that extra weight on the hilt, it balances out with, extra weight on the blade, it balances out with the hilt nicely. It is a little trickier to wield just because of the button on it. It feels like it's more just a two-handed kind of duel. Not so great for doing spins and stuff. And that brings us to my final thoughts. What do I think of this Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi lightsaber by DamienSaber. Value for money. For what you're getting included, whether you buy the RGB version or the Xenopixel, you get this beautiful hilt, a 36-inch blade, a blade plug, a display stand, an Allen key, the cable, the adapter. It's so complete. I had no problems paying what I did for this saber. So value for money, I am giving it a 5 out of 5. Next up is design. Design-wise, I love it. I mean, I am so happy with how this thing looks, and yeah, like it's gorgeous. It's not exactly like the movie hilt, but remember that this is inspired. It is not a licensed product by Star Wars or Disney. But I mean, for design, the only drawback is that you have to kind of take apart a lot to get to that microSD card in the Pixel version. I'm not going to be doing that a lot though. I've loaded everything onto it that I want, and it's just going to stay like this, and it's going to look beautiful on my shelf. So for design, I am giving it a 4.5 out of 5. Next up is features. Whether you get the RGB or the Xenopixel or the Profi, the features are going to be different. So I'm going to just rate this based on the one I got. The Xenopixel V2 soundboard that DamienSaber manufactures is the best in my opinion. It comes with so many sound fonts pre-installed, and you can add more, and you can add music. And I love the blade. It looks so nice when it's lit up. Features wise, again, it's getting a 5. Lastly is quality. Everything from packaging to the saber itself. The packaging was great. It had everything protected in saran wrap. All the pieces were kept separate. Nothing was jostling around in there. The hilt itself is beautifully done. There's no scratches on the metal. Everything's polished. The blade is 36-inch long. Quality-wise, there's no complaints here. Quality, 5 out of 5. So when we take the 4 scores, add them all up and divide by 4, it comes out to 4.875, which will get rounded up to 4.9. So a final score, 4.9 out of 5. This is a phenomenal lightsaber. If you are looking for a movie replica, this is the one to get. For price, for design, for everything. You don't want to miss out. I love it. This one will stay in my collection to the day I die. If you did find this video helpful and you enjoyed it, as always, please don't forget to click that like, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and you'll stay up to date whenever I release new videos. Until next week, I have been your host, The Frugal Jedi. Thank you for watching.